best. You got him for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back tonight to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we finish a chapter with the Roaring Thunder Racing League right here at Sonoma Raceway. That is right. Tonight is the season finale, race 16 of 16 with the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series. This is the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Sonoma Grand Prix. And tonight we are going to crown a new champion for season number 2. I'm a commentator, Sean Zulu, and happy in the booth with me is David Everly. How are you doing tonight, Dave?
Doing pretty good, Sean.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a recap from last week's race at Watkins Glen. In that race, we had Keaton Bommersbrack bring it home for his second win of the season. Robert Barras came out second. Simon Thorns came out third. Ronald Vincent came out fourth. Mark McFadden came out fifth. Charles Smith came out sixth. Noah Lewis 7th, Stephen Leffler 8th, Mark Kochik 9th, Paul Cohen 10th, John Estates 11th, Shane Gross 12th, and Jim Whaley Jr. Did round up the rest of the field of 13 drivers. And in that race, we had the big junk, if you will, a very big wreck, lap 1, turn number 1, and we had to have the officials through the caution to bunch everybody back up again. But after that, everything went smooth, and we did have two pit stops, two green flag pit stops take place. Well, moving on to our current points standings, that is the points standings, Robert Barras is still leading in points with 11 wins under his belt, and starting tonight's race is 289 points ahead of second place driver Charles Smith. So Charles Smith second in points, Jeremy Horn third, Jim Whaley Jr. fourth, Mark Kochik fifth, Mark McFadden sixth, Jeff Dotson seventh, we have Ronald Vincent eighth, Keaton Bommersbrack 9th, Stephen Leffler 10th, Paul Cohen 11th, Noah Lewis 12th, Simon Thorns 13th, Shane Gross 14th, and Rolf Just rounding up the top 15 in the points. And defending champion, Season 1 champion, Jeremy Horn, last season from the Pro K&N Series. And now this season, an upcoming champion here, 289 points. The points leader is ahead of second place driver once again, Charles Smith. It's going to be very interesting. And once again, season finale. Well, going to tonight's race here tonight at Sonoma Raceway. And tonight, this is the IRL configuration with a total of 12 turns. These drivers tonight have a 100-degree Fahrenheit track temp. That is 100 degrees Fahrenheit track temp. Partly cloudy with an air temperature of 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And winds from the north at 2 miles per hour. And this is the afternoon setting. The length is 2.2 miles, so the track is 2.2 miles in length, and once again, 12 turns in total, and the drive is accompanied by a 75% fuel limit as usual, which gives us a required 2 pit stops. Well, some might try and make it on just 1 pit stop, but we should expect to see at least 1 green flag pit stop from each driver out there. And ladies and gentlemen, last season, the Roaring Thunder Racing League, the Saturday night series, they ran the Pro K&N series, the Pro K&N cars. This season, the Indy cars. Well, next season, ladies and gentlemen, they are switching to the GT1 class. That is the Corvette GT1 on both ovals and road courses. And they do have added chase series, so they'll have a chase format next season. So to be a part of the action for next season, just check them out at their website, americantracker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. Once again, that's American Tracker, the number 8.wixsite.com/RTRL. That's americantracker8.wixsite.com/RTRL, or just check them out on iRacing at Roaring Thunder Racing League, because they are taking new drivers for next season for the Corvette GT1, and next season will be season number 6. And going to tonight's race here, Sonoma Raceway, the post hitter is the 88 of Bommersbach, last week's winner for his second win of the season. Robert Barras currently second, and so far looks like we have 11 drivers. Yes, 11 drivers are starting tonight's race. So far the red flag has flown, and everybody out there trying to finish up their current lap times. So far it seems like almost everybody is on pit road. Yep, pretty much everybody on pit road. So here before too long, in 35 seconds, we are going to start gridding. And just a few stats of the drivers. So Robert Barras has not missed a single race. He's raced every race so far this season. 15 starts, 11 wins. So 11 of 15 wins by Barras. Very, very impressive. Gonna most likely try and he'll still give it all he has tonight, even though he doesn't really have to work for it. And he has 14 top 5s and 15 top 10s. Charles Smith has 11 top 5s and 14 top 10s. Jeremy Horn, 11 top 5s, 13 top 10s. Jim Whaley Jr., 5 top 5, 9 top 10s. And Mark Kochik, 3 top 5s and 12 top 10s. But ladies and gentlemen, here going to tonight's race, currently the post sitter is the 88 of Keaton Bombers back and will be. We have Robert Berra starting right beside him in second place. Jeremy Horn, defending champion, starting third. Simon Thorns, fourth. Charles Smith, fifth. Mark Kochik, sixth. Stephen Leffler, seventh. Ronald Vincent, eighth. Mark McFadden, ninth. Poe Cohen 11th, and John Estates in the 11th place spot, rounding up the whole entire field here tonight at Sonoma Raceway for the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Sonoma Grand Prix round 16 of 16 championship race. Oh, in the chat we have Noah Lewis not racing tonight. Unfortunately, he is not feeling 100% well. Noah, buddy, just get some rest, man. We look forward to hearing from you in the near future, man. Get well soon. Get well soon. And he's sending a big congrats to Robert Barras. Well, since Robert Barras, once again, ladies and gentlemen, is 289 points ahead of second place driver Charles Smith. That does secure, well, he secured that's the championship about 2-3 races ago, roughly. So tonight it's all about just, you know, showing up and not really working for it, you know, in this case, because he knows he has this thing wrapped up. But like you said last week, he's still gonna have, he'll still give it all he has. Yep, despite the success, well, in spite of the success, the idea is to finish the season nice and strong. And as we speak, the drivers up front, actually the whole entire field is now rolling behind the pace car, side by side, pretty much everybody 2 by 2, and pace speed 60 miles an hour. And this configuration is very, very tricky. A lot of sharp turns. That is sharp turns, which means you have to go slow in order to be able to make it out. But these drivers, I saw a lot of them going off track quite a bit. But they have figured it out quite well this far, and a lot of heavy braking zones to go with the sharp turns. So bad combinations for the machines. Oh yeah, Noah, that's a good point. Yeah, next season, ladies and gentlemen, a chase format has been put into place. So they'll have a chase series next season in the Corvette GT1 class. So once again, check them out. Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing or AmericanTrackerAid.wixsite.com/RTRL is the website to be a part of the action, because they are taking drivers. They are in need of drivers, and everybody is more than welcome. Oh, the pace car dips off everybody going to the final turn. Very, very sharp turn, turn number 12. The green flag is out, and Bombers Black finds the gas pedal. Barras right behind him sees it coming, but we have the fortune of Jeremy Horn right behind Barras. Looks like Bombers Black had some truck connection problems there, but so far seems to be stabilizing as we speak. And here with the driver off the track is 14 of Jeremy Horn. Jeremy Horn off the track. Gonna go from 3rd place to about 7th to 8th place roughly as we speak. And this is lap 1, the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Sonoma Grand Prix round 16 of 16 championship race. And here for one lap, let's go, let's ride with Keaton Bommersback, just so we can see exactly what it takes to be successful. Actually, it looks like he's having some connection problems. Let's focus on the 75 of Barras instead, second place driver, just so we can be able to get an idea of exactly what it takes to be successful on a track like this. So Robert Barras here so far, now getting very close to Keaton Bommersback. The lap is about to start. And now Robert Barras approaching turn number 1, right behind Keaton Bommersback. It looks like on the exit of turn number 1, Barras was able to get a very good exit off it. As Bommersback here is still trying to get that connection problem fixed. But here coming up to turn number 3, a very sharp right-hand turn. And this left oval, it's a left-hander, it's like a left oval if you will. This is turn number 5 and a very good exit. It has a very good straightaway after that exit. So these guys having a lot of time to be floorboard deep, I guess, if you will. And now they come around a very, very sharp right-hander as well. That is turn number 7, or was turn 7. Now the carousel, this is turn number 9. The final turn right here, turn number 12. It's almost a 90-degree turn. Well, it is way more than a 90-degree turn. So which means less speed in order for them to be able to complete the turn successfully. You do keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, slow in, fast out. Oh, Bommersback loses it off the exit of turn 1. He's in the sand, and Barras benefits from that greatly. So does the 57 of Simon Thorns. And so far, Bommersback has secured a 3rd place spot behind Simon Thorns. But behind Bommersback is the 14 of Jeremy Horn. It was a free lunch program for Simon Thorns and Barras. And a bad experience, bad lap for Bommersback. And as we speak, Jeremy Horn trying to apply some pressure to Bommersback. And unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with this configuration. So it's going to be quite complicated for me to try and figure out these turns. But I figured turn number 12, the final turn, is going to be, actually that's turn number 11. The turn number 11 is the one that's more than 90 degrees. But turn 12 is right before the start-finish line. So turn 11 in this case is going to be the most difficult turn, because these drivers they'll be going their slowest on the track. In the updated top 5 this far, Barras is the new leader, Simon Thorns 2nd, Keaton Bommersback 3rd, Jeremy Horn 4th, and Charles Smith in the 5th place spot. For the back in the pack, the 48 of Mark McFadden has a motor roaring in his rear. That is a 37 of Ronald Vincent. These guys going at it for the 7th place spot, and they are being shown over 25 seconds behind the leaders, Barras, Simon Thorns, Keaton Bommersback, and Jeremy Horn. And with how tricky and complicated this track is, the field keeps getting nothing but spread out with every single turn. And the last driver in this field is the 33 of Mark Kochik. in the 9th place spot. So Paul Cohen and John Estates not racing tonight, unfortunately. So that leaves once again Mark Kochek as the last driver, but he has in sight Ronald Vincent and Mark McFadden. He is keeping up quite well, keeping these drivers in sight, so he can be able to pounce on them before too long. And with how complicated this track is, it's a matter of waiting, ladies and gentlemen. Waiting is the key to success at a track like this. Waiting for your opponent to make a mistake, because one man's mistake at a track like this is the other man's benefit. Going back up front, 57 of Simon Thorns in the second place position, only 2.4 seconds behind Robert Barras. And last week, Simon Thorns had some great success, ended up finishing in the 3rd place spot behind Barras at Watkins Glen, and is trying to go 2 spots higher, or at least finish 2 spots higher in the 1st place spot to have his first win, and that would be quite the way to end the season. And for the back in the pack, going back to the 3-way battle, Mark McFadden, Ronald Vincent, and Mark Kochek. These drivers very, very close to each other. And the bad thing when it comes to road racing, ladies and gentlemen, when you're too close, or I should say, if you're too close to your opponent, or to an opponent in front of you, who's in front of you, if they make a mistake, you will most likely follow their lead. So it's always a good idea to just keep a good enough distance, or a good enough distance to if they make a mistake where you will not be able to follow him, basically you'll be able to correct that mistake and benefit from that. So as we see right now, Ronald Vincent, the 37, keeping a very safe distance between himself and the 48 of Mark McFadden. In turn, Mark Kochek doing the exact same thing versus 37 of Vincent. And going back up front, 88 of Keaton Bommersbach is applying some serious pressure to the 13 of Charles Smith for the 4th place position. But Charles right now is giving it all he has, trying to keep Bommersbach as far back as he possibly can and trying to increase the gap at the exact same time. But off turn number 5, they both get good exits. Or looks like Bommersbach was able to get a better exit than Charles Smith. And now entering the next turn, no, Charles Smith gets too hard into the brakes and spins out. Enough for Bommersbach to get back around him. Oh man, that's very unfortunate for Charles Smith, and that's exactly what pressure does, ladies and gentlemen. When you know that someone is that close on your heels, your main focus is on them, and it's very difficult. It makes it extra difficult to focus on the road. Well, here as we speak, Charles Smith trying to make up for lost time here, entering turn number 11. Almost the final turn, went way wide and lost even more time against the 88 of Bommersbach, and they are now about 3 seconds apart. And in the 6th place spot, we have the 72 of Steven Leffler. Steven Leffler here so far, just buying his time, trying to get around this track. And keep in mind, these drivers here racing each other and racing the track at the exact same time. And one is more difficult than the other. Well, one might be more difficult than the other compared to, depending on the driver. For some, the track might be more difficult, or some just getting around each other, which is at this course, the track is so narrow, well, these turns are so sharp, so it's very difficult to make moves against your opponent. So the best thing you can do is to try and get a good exit, a good run off the turns, to try and make up some time on the straightaways, or maybe overtake your opponent on the straightaways, the few straight stretches that are existing or in existence at this track, most likely on the exit of turn number 5, which is the left-hander, or the left oval. Further back in the pack, the three-way battle that we had going on has been broken up into a two-way battle. It was Mark McFadden, Ronald Vincent, and Mark Kochik, but now it's only between Ronald Vincent and Mark Kochik, 8th and 9th place drivers, because McFadden was able to put down, increase his gap to about 4 seconds. So he's now 4 seconds ahead of the driver behind him, Ronald Vincent. But Ronald Vincent has a lot more to worry about because he has Mark Kochik very, very close. In this case, too close for comfort. Mark Kochik and Ronald Vincent here taking different race lines, and this could work out well for Mark Kochik, because with the way Mark Kochik is racing Vincent, he is playing mind games against Vincent. And in this case, what mind games are basically is where you're so close to your opponent, or you're so close to the driver in front of you, whereas you would maybe go left and hoping they're looking in their rearview mirror, and if they are doing that, they will follow your lead without knowing it, and that makes them more likely to make a mistake, which you can benefit from greatly. But going back up front, 57, that's 57 of Simon Thorns, doing an amazing job, has done an amazing job this far of keeping the gap between himself and the leader Barras very, very consistent, decreasing and increasing. Well, it just depends with every single lap, but for the most part, it is consistent. They are still about 2.2 seconds apart. And here, what's going to separate these two, what I'm guessing, is those green flag pit stops. We are only 10 laps in, with 32 laps remaining. And an interesting fact for some of the drivers here racing tonight at this track with these machines, most of these drivers are used to going around this track with the cup cars and having to had to adapt before tonight's race to the Indy cars. At the same time, this is a new configuration, so they had double the work of adapt to the track and the car at the exact same time, or in this case the configuration, because once again they are used to going around this track with the cup cars, but are doing quite well despite that. And now last lap, Simon Thorns was able to shave off 0.2 of a second against Barras, and now it was a 2 seconds flat. Well, crossing the finish line right now, and that gap just went down to 1.7 seconds. Oh, man. So Barras' lead is getting nothing but smaller with every single lap. And Simon Thorns is driving the wheels off that machine. He is really trying to catch up to Barras, or maybe just at least trying to be as close to Barras as he possibly can before the green flag pit stops kick in for his own benefit. And it looks like their turn number 7 is also one of the tougher turns on in tonight's race. So turn number 7, including turn number 11, the very sharp, greater than 90-degree turn. And monitoring the gap between the top 2 drivers, Barras and Thorns, gonna see what happens here. The gap is now 2.5 seconds, so looks like the gap has now increased again, but it is a stalemate, if you will. It just keeps going up and down. It keeps fluctuating, basically, depending on the turns. Man, Simon Thorns really hitting every single curb he possibly can, and these curbs, ladies and gentlemen, if hit at the right angle, help the machines rotate. But if hit at the wrong angle, could send the drivers into a deadly spin. For the back in the pack, we have a position change. Charles Smith has been bumped down to 7th place and now behind the 48 of Mark McFadden. These drivers very close to each other, well, less than a second within each other's range. And as we speak, they're off turn number 11. We have Mark McFadden get a better exit than Charles Smith. And that gap goes up to... Actually, it goes up by 1.5 seconds. Yes, 1.5 seconds. Well, it went up 0.5 seconds in this case. But Charles Smith getting very close, too close for comfort, to the rear of 48 of McFadden. He goes around McFadden, and McFadden just lets him by without a fight, because McFadden made a mistake there, entering turn number 4. He overshot it too fast in, and almost failed to make it out. But going back up front, 75 of Robert Barras is now putting drivers a lap down, or laps down. Well, first driver going 1 lap down is 37 of Ronald Vincent, who just went 1 lap down as we spoke. He got overtaken there in turn number 7, and now he's going to try and catch up to Barras and get that lap back the hard way. But hopefully he's able to make up in a lot more time on pit road during pit stops to be back on the lead lap, because with having no cautions, that means the only way he can get his lap back is doing it the hard way.
Sorry about that, folks. It looks like Sean has dropped connection here, so as we wait on him to get back, just taking a look here, lap 15 of 42, we're going to go ahead and step away for our first commercial break of the night. We'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network with the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series season finale here at Sonoma. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are bringing you the season finale here at Sonoma with the Roarin Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series. Taking a look here, we've already started some green flag pit stops. Robert Burris has been down on pit road, and also Jeremy Horn has been down on pit road. Simon Thorne's pitted 3 laps ago. Same with Stephen Leffler and Ronald Vincent. Right now, Mark Koshik, he is down on pit road as we speak. Taking a look here at our top 10 as we run right now. Robert Burr still out front with Keaton Bommersback up into second. Jeremy Horn third. Simon Thorne sitting in fourth. Charles Smith fifth. Mark McFadden sixth. Stephen Leffler sitting seventh. Mark Koshik eighth. Ronald Vincent rounding out in ninth position. Is taking a look here. Don't really have any real close battles here. Mark McFadden sitting back in sixth. Stephen Leffler just 2 seconds behind him, but these pit stops here definitely spread out here. Is Jeremy Horn third. He's about a second behind Keaton's Bomberback, who's running currently in second. Here we are, 24 laps in, or 24 laps to go, 19 laps completed. Coming up on the halfway point of tonight's race here, Robert Burris, he has led 17 laps. Keaton Bomberback, he has led 1 lap here tonight. But as Sean said here at the early start of the race, pretty much Robert Burris doesn't even have to finish, and he'll be able to come away with the championship here, as he's well over 200 points over second place Charles Smith. Taking a look here at Keaton's Bommersback. He is second. He is about 5 seconds behind Robert Burris. Jeremy Horn, though, he is closing up on Keaton's Bommersback. He was over a second. Still running about a second. He's got eyes on him, but he has got to definitely work and get up there to catch him. Once again, I do apologize. Sean is having some computer malfunctions that he's currently working on, so hopefully we'll have him back up here in the booth. Bring you the closing of the race, as we are now just 1 lap away from halfway point of tonight's race here at Sonoma. We're on lap 21 of 42, 21 laps remaining. And now would be a good time to look at some of these paint jobs here, as we're going to get this all set up for you. Taking a look here at the 75 of Robert Burris, as he's heating them brakes up in them strong braking points, but he is in that Hellman's Honda looking pretty good in that blue and white machine. Moving on into second place is going to be the 88 of Keaton's Bomberback with the Mobile Toyota. Looking good in that machine, black and red and white machine. Sitting there in third is going to be Jeremy Horn. He's in the Menards Johns Manville Snap-on Panasonic Toyota. Looking good in that blue, red, and I guess neon yellow. Sitting there in fourth, we've got the Monster Energy machine. That's the 57 of Simon Thorne's. Charles Smith, he is sporting the mild 7 machine, looking good in that number 13 mild 7. Steven Leffler, he is sitting there in 6th position. He has got the Dale Jr. there, Hellman's number 72 machine. Mark Koshik running currently in 7th position. He is in that 33 We Love Logistics Honda UPS Coca-Cola machine, looking good in there. Mark McFadden, he has got that yellow and white The Rebel 48 Honda machine. Of course, the legend there, so good looking machine there. And Ronald Vincent, he is rounding out our 9th position. He is in the Firestone Road Motor Snap-on Honda, looking good in that blue and white machine. Taking a look here at lap times, this drivers are all spread out here. Robert Burris, he has got a 2.7 second, or now 2.8 second lead over second place Keaton's Bommersback. Jeremy Horn sitting back there in 3rd, 6.3 seconds behind the leader. Simon Thorns, he's sitting in 4th, 16 seconds behind. Charles Smith sitting back there in 5th, and I don't think that's right. Yeah, he is 35 seconds or 51 seconds back from the leader.
Oh, I had some technical difficulties on my end, but I am finally back. But unfortunately, I missed those first green flag pit stops. But the race is still going. So far 23 laps in and 20 laps complete. Well, we are now, like David talked about there, in the race, we have passed the halfway mark. So just had someone go sideways. That was 88 of Keaton Bommersback. Now second place, 2.7 seconds behind Barris for the race lead.
Yeah, take a look here, Sean. The 72, Steven Leffler, he is off in the dirt as well. So it looks like this track's getting the better of some of these drivers.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yep, too technical. Left, right, heavy braking zones. And the drivers here, it's only a matter of time before they start losing concentration. And some of them already have, actually. So at this point, we now have 6 drivers left on the lead lap. Mark Kochik, Mark McFadden, Ronald Vincent, three drivers 1 lap down. And Steven Leffler gets overtaken by Bommersback and Barris. And also gets put down 1 lap down. So now only 5 drivers left on the lead lap.
Well, Robert Burst caught himself there behind Steven Leffler, and I let the 88 of Keaton's Bomberback get right up on his back bumper. So we've got a little bit of a battle going here for the lead.
Yeah, it wasn't looking too good for Bommersback there early on in the race after making the mistake when he went off the racing surface. But looks like he's recovered from that quite well. He did not stop pushing, but Robert Barras goes way too wide, entering turn 11. Wide enough for Bommersback to benefit from that greatly. And now Bommersback gets the race lead, or takes over the race lead this time around on lap 25. In the chat, we have Mr. Gibbs. Welcome, Mr. Gibbs. Hope you're doing well tonight, man. Hope you're doing well. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, one man's mistake is another man's benefit at a track like this. Like we had seen there, Barris's mistake of going way too wide into turn number 11 was Bommersback's benefit. And now Barris trying to catch back up to Bommersback to try and take that back away. But Bommersback now is catching up to another machine. That is Ronald Vincent, who is already 1 lap down. So if Bommersback gets around Vincent, that will put him down to 2 laps down. Oh, looks like Vincent stayed right to let the faster traffic by, and Steven Leffler, Barris, and Bommersback all get around him. I was thinking that this was going to work with Barris, but against Bommersback, just like it had done before. Well, in this case, I worked against Barras, but with Bomber's back. That was last time when they were both getting around Steven Leffler to put him down to 1 lap down, but the gap, oh man, Bomber's back goes sideways off the exit off turn 1, but hangs on to it. Nice save by Bomber's back. He's definitely driving the wheels off that machine and doing all he can to keep Barras behind him as long as possible.
Well, I actually just noticed, Sean, that Keaton Bummersback has not pitted yet. He's got 16 laps on his tires, so he's going to have to come in for pit road.
And that's a very good point. I was actually wondering how it was that Bommersbach was able to make up that much time after being so far back in the pack, but he goes sideways, entering turn number 7. He's trying to drift turn number 7 and 7A. Nice save by Barras. Yep, if it comes down to it, well, I do believe Barras will still need to pit in at least once more. So Bommersbach will most likely go down pit road with Robert Barras. But from the looks of it and from experience, Bommersbach will need to pit in way before Barras. Yeah, this is going to make things extra interesting. The differences in pit strategy going to come into play. It just might work with Bommersbach, but against Barras or the other way around. We are going to find out. And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the Roaring Thunder Racing League is taking drivers for next season. Next season, they are moving on to the Corvette GT1 class. So that's the Corvette GT1 class. So if you'd like to be a part of the action, check them out at their website, americantrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. That's American Trucker, the number 8.wixsite.com/RTRL. To get more information about that, or you can also join their Tuesday night series, Tuesday night Pro Mazda series. So you guys can join either of those, or I guess both of those, based on your experience and or availability. So Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing, or American Trucker 8.wixsite.com/RTRL. And a lap ago, that was 1 lap ago, last lap, 13 of Charles Smith did go down pit road for his final pit stop of the evening. And now he's being shown 1 minute 16 seconds behind the leaders. That means he's about 2 to 3 seconds roughly away from being lapped. So he's actually on the gas, trying to keep the leaders behind him as long as he possibly can, but they do still have to pit in, so that gap will get balanced out once they do. But the 88 Keaton Bommersbach up front gives up the race lead to go down pit road with 28 laps in and 14 laps to go for his final pit stop of the evening. And that gives us the second place spot to the 14 of Jeremy Horn, the defending champion. And Jeremy Horn was shown 3.3 seconds behind the race leader, crossing the start-finish line the last lap. And the field is very, very spread out at this point, and we are showing only 4 drivers on the lead lap. That's 4 drivers on the lead lap, with Simon Thorns being the last driver on the lead lap. Charles Smith, first driver, 1 lap down. So we have 4 drivers 1 lap down, and 1 driver 2 laps down. And now Simon Thorns gets bumped up 1 spot and is in the 3rd place spot ahead of the 88 of Bomber's back. And Jeremy Horn is doing an amazing job of keeping the gap between him and Barras very consistent. It has been staying between 3 to 3.5 seconds in the last couple of laps. So he's really determined to catch up to Robert Barras with 13 laps left. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 12 laps to go into tonight's race and 31 laps complete, we take one final commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Sonoma Grand Prix. That's the Indy Sonoma Grand Prix, round 16 of 16, season finale and championship race of the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series, brought to you by the Roaring Thunder Racing League. And check them out, ladies and gentlemen. They are looking for drivers for next season, their GT1 class, the Corvette GT1 class. So their website is AmericanTrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. That's American Trucker, the number 8.wixsite.com/RTRL. You could join their Saturday night Corvette GT1 class next season, or you can join their Pro Mazda series on Tuesday night, or you can join both based on your experience and or availability. And also they were on iRacing Roaring Thunder Racing League to be a part of the action. Well, going back to tonight's race, our final green flag pit stops have come and go. We still have two drivers needing to pit in, namely Simon Thorns. Actually, Simon Thorns is now on pit road as we speak, just going down pit road as we speak. But now only one more driver needing to pit in. It is 72 of Steven Leffler with 33 laps on his tires and tank. So for drivers on the lead lap, that concludes our round second and final round of green flag pit stops. Here in Keaton Bummersbach shown as the new race leader, Jeremy Horn second, Robert Barras is fourth so far, but Simon Thorns third. But that most likely, that should change here before too long. Yep, and Steven Leffler as well going down pit road. So that does finally conclude our second and final round of pit stops with 8 laps left. And up front, 88 of Keaton Bummersbach so far. Well, last lap he was shown 4.8 seconds ahead of second place driver Jeremy Horn. But that just might change here before too long. It keeps fluctuating because of these all these different turns. But Bummersbach has made quite the comeback, despite his big mistake early on. Yep, Jeremy Horn was being shown 4.1 seconds behind Keaton Bummersbach for the race lead. So what a heck of a comeback once again by Keaton Bummersbach. And Simon Thorns so far in fourth place, bumped down by Barras. And they are about 12 to 16 seconds apart. Barras is 14 seconds behind Keaton Bummersbach. And Simon Thorns 26 seconds behind Bummersbach. And this gives us only 4 drivers, still 4 drivers left on the lead lap. And the 37 of Ronald Vincent has been put down, 1 more lap down to be put down to 3 laps down. And so far he's staying ahead of 57 of Simon Thorns. But no harm done there. Simon Thorns coming up very close to the rear of Ron Vincent. But Ron Vincent stays left and lets the Simon Thorns by because no harm there. It's not for position. But up front, the gap between the top 2 drivers, Bummersbach and Horn, went up from 4.1 seconds to 4.8 seconds, 7/10 of an increase in 1 lap. So it looks like Keaton Bummersback is really driving the wheels off that machine and trying to just keep increasing that gap and also maybe putting some more drivers laps down. Or in this case, it's going to be trying to put Simon Thorns a lap down, and Simon Thorns is 26 seconds behind him. And this is the 5 lap to go mark, 5 laps left in tonight's race. In this case, the final 5 laps of the season. And so far, we are still being led by Keaton Bummersback, Jeremy Horn 2nd, Robert Barras 3rd, Simon Thorns 4th, Charles Smith 5th, Stephen Leffler 6th, Mark McFadden 7th, Mark Kochik 8th, and Ronald Vincent in the 9th place spot. And Mark Kochik getting approached by the 14 of Jeremy Horn, but he lets Horn by without a fight. And this is a good thing for Horn, because he didn't lose too much time against the other race leader, the 88 of Bummersback. But now Jeremy Horn has his eyes on another prize, it's 48 of Mark McFadden. Oh, Mark McFadden goes too hard into the brakes. He hits the wall. Well, the tires. His machine spun out. He locked them up. But it looks like he was able to save it, and he's still rolling. And up front, Bummersback's lead keeps getting nothing but bigger. He's now being shown 6 seconds. Well, he was 6.4 seconds ahead of Jeremy Horn last lap. But this lap, it most likely will change again. It might increase, it might decrease. We are about to find out. But Barras, 75 of Barras, is now 16 seconds behind Bummersback. And 33 of Mark Kochik so far in the 7th place spot. He does have the 14 of Jeremy Horn in sight, but no harm there. Mark Kochik here being shown 2 laps down in the 7th place spot, but still determined to get the job done regardless. He is pushing that machine more than ever before in tonight's race. He's doing some hot laps. And 48 of Mark McFadden, heavy damage, and he's on pit road as we speak. And McFadden gets the brand new machine, the one backup car, and off pit road he goes. And now we are still 3 laps remaining, as we actually about to be 2 laps left, as Bummersback is crossing the start finish line. Yep, 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. And with 2 laps to go, Jeremy Horn was able to make up a lot of time. So he's now 6.2 seconds behind Bummersbach. But last lap he was 7.7 seconds. So great job by Jeremy. Hopefully he's able to make up enough time to make a difference in that position, or in his positions before the race ends tonight. And looking at these stats, Jeremy Horn has 2 wins under his belt this season, and Bummersbach as well, 2 wins, but Barras having the rest of the 11 wins. What a season and a half for the by the 75 of Robert Barras. But next season we're gonna have a lot. They'll be having the Roaring Thunder will be having a lot more beasts going at it with the going at it to try and take it away from Robert Barras. And ladies and gentlemen, the white flag is out. The white flag is out. Final race, a final lap of tonight's race. The final lap, the final official lap of the season right here on the Dre Broadcasting Network. The Sonoma Raceway here tonight. The Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Sonoma Grand Prix Championship race. And Jeremy Horn was 6 seconds flat behind Bummersbach for the race lead. So far at this point, Bummersbach just has to take it easy and will bring this thing home unchallenged with a Sunday drive. As we speak, it is tackling some left-right turns number 8 through turn number 10. Oh, still having connection issues there. Keaton Bummersbach, but Jeremy Horn here still right behind him. And Bummersbach now approaching the final turn for the final time. He's gonna bring this thing home unchallenged for his 3rd win of the season. What a heck of a way to end the season right here at Sonoma Raceway. 2nd place driver 14 of Jeremy Horn. 2nd, once again, Robert Barras comes out 3rd. Actually still racing as we speak. Yes, start finish line brings this thing home in 3rd place. Simon Thorns in the 4th place spot. Charles Smith in the 5th place spot. Stephen Leffler 6th. Mark Kochik 7th. Mark McFadden 8th. And Ronald Vincent in the 9th place spot. Well, top 3 interviews coming up. Keaton Bummersbach 1st, defending champion Jeremy Horn 2nd, and Robert Barras, our new champion, finishing in the 3rd place spot tonight. So please stay tuned. And a big smoke show by the 88 of Bummersbach. Well, we are being joined up in the booth by the top 3 drivers, Keaton Bummersbach, Jeremy Horn, and the 75 of Robert Barras. We are going to start with tonight's race winner for his 3rd win of the season, 88 of Bummersbach. Pick up there, buddy.
If my internet holds, yeah.
How it is, man?
The internet was terrible. I mean, it made me nervous and it got to my driving, so I nearly crashed. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but I probably tried to crash 5-6 times in the first 10 laps, and then I spent the rest of the race recovering it. I pulled an alternate strategy. I was able to, be on fresh tires when they were on worn tires, and kind of hold them up on the worn tires, allowed me to make some good time, and I was able to get the win back. Though the internet, again, it kept trying to swap it from me, and glad I didn't have to do too much wheel-to-wheel racing, because I don't like doing that when the internet's not good. But
Oh, most definitely, man. But still a great success on your part. And we are sorry to hear about your misfortune with the internet. But yeah, we noticed that you know, like you said, they got to you, and you made a deadly mistake there early on and lost a bunch of spots. But then you were able to pull it off with a heck of a strategy and giving you your third win of the season right here. That's a good way to end the season at Sonoma Raceway. And how has been your season, man?
I mean, when I've showed up, I've run really well. I've had a lot of fun here. You know, I haven't been able to make every race, but it's been a lot of fun. Robert and Jeremy have been great competition all season. So proud to share the podium with them here at the final race. Yeah, this one was just draining. I think everybody's so tired, man. This course is, I mean, 42 laps around here. We're all spent.
I can only imagine, yep. A lot of heavy braking zones, a lot of sharp turns, and a lot of focus required. But you guys were able to make it through, and congrats on your success. And Keaton, man, last season we came from the Pro K&N series. This season, the Indy cars. But then next season, the Corvette GT1 is what the Roaring Thunder Racing League is running. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. You know, a couple seasons back, we ran the Corvette Daytona prototypes in a very similar season. That was when I was able to show up. That was fun. Those things, you know, you're surprised because they're purpose-built road racing machines, but you take them on an oval and they're more fun than the oval cars. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun when I'm able to show up. Hopefully, I'm able to show up most of the races. I'm fingers crossed, but. I do plan to be here for as many as I can make it to.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, we look forward to hearing about you next season, as the Dre Broadcasting will not be broadcasting next season, unfortunately, because we are taking the Saturdays off. But man, it's been amazing watching you race and grow all season long, and wish you the best of luck next season. And any final words before I let you go?
I just want to thank Jeff, CB, and Gomez as always, and I want to congratulate Robert on the championship. It's been a good season, and I want to thank you guys for the job you guys do up in the booth. It's been fun to watch the season.
Well, buddy, congrats on your success all season long, and we look forward to hearing from you next season. Have a good one, buddy. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
And that was the 88 of Keaton Bummers, back tonight's race winner. But next in line is the 14 of Jeremy Horn, who we missed last week, but defending champion. Get up there, Jeremy.
Yeah, I gotcha.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Like Keaton said, a little bit wore out. It was a tough race out there tonight.
Oh, indeed it was, man. But you were able to hang in there and do what you had to do, and was very successful. And towards the closing stages of the race, you ended up gaining a lot of time. Basically, you were gaining a lot of time against Bomber's back with every single lap. Do you feel that if you had a few more laps left, you'd have been able to catch Bomber's back?
No, I think Keaton was slowing it down there at the end. I mean, he's super fast. I mean, he got the fastest lap time tonight with a 1:17, and I don't know. I mean, we were all getting tired there. I was just hoping that I've never wanted to see a checkered flag so bad in my life. I didn't really feel too awful comfortable tonight. I've been having some equipment issues, but was able to pull it out, and I think I might have took second away from CB tonight in the points from sticking it out.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, it was amazing watching you race, and congrats on your success here, despite the few curveballs here and there. And Jeremy, you are the defending champion, man. A heck of a season last season, and this season too. And actually, looking at the points, it just got updated. You did finish third place in points, but only 2 points behind second place driver Charles Smith. So congrats on your success on your podium this season. But how are you feeling about switching classes, moving on to something new next season, the Corvette GT1?
I think it'll be interesting. Like Keaton said, we run the Corvettes a little while ago, the Daytona prototypes, and it made for a really good season. So I'm hoping it turns out the same this season. Hopefully everybody will come back, and maybe we'll have some more people up there challenging for wins every weekend. I know it's been fun this season fighting with Robert and Kyton. You know, they were great competitors, and you know, just gotta give a big congratulations to Robert. He put a whipping on us this year.
Oh, most definitely. And Jeremy, man, when it comes down to it, thinking about or looking back at this season, what would you do differently, or what basically? Now, let me change the question. What are you gonna carry over to next season to better your success?
Well, this season was, I mean, I consider it very successful. I mean, I missed 2 races and was still able to finish 3rd in the championship, especially missing Indy. But missed my 2 favorite tracks, Indy and Watkins Glen, and Indy being a double points race. That kind of hurt me in the points. So I was just out here having fun. I'm hoping to take the fun that we've had this year, carry it over to next season, be able to maybe get some more wins on the season, be able to compete more with Robert and Kyton, and hopefully have a really good season next season.
Oh, most definitely, man. Well, before we let you go, any final words that you'd like to share before we go celebrate?
I just want to thank everybody that runs the league, Jeff, CB, and everybody. They do a fantastic job putting this on, making it a real fun league. You know, thank everybody that comes out that's in the league, and making it great competition and real fun to be a part of. And just thank my family, my wife and my son, for letting me do this here on Saturday evening. Thank you guys for, even though you won't be with us next year, you know, thank you for putting this on, and hopefully the fans enjoyed everything they saw.
Well, congrats on your success and ending this season with 12 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and 2 wins. And we look forward to hearing about you taking the crown back away from Robert Barras. Well, buddy, go celebrate.
Thank you very much.
That was defending champion of Jeremy Horn, last season's champion, that is. But next in line is our new champion, who has won 11 of the 15 races, well, 11 of the 16 races this season, Robert Barras. Gonna come up there, Robert.
Okay.
How you doing tonight, man?
I'm wore out. We did not quite 200 laps at Daytona at noon. Thanks to somebody who didn't have himself cleared and did some damage to my car, but we got through that, and then 42 laps here tonight. This is a hard track. It's very technical and very bumpy, especially if you're off just a little bit. If you run through the grass, it's real bad. So I'm pretty wore out, but otherwise I'm pretty pleased to get these last 42 laps in to wrap this championship up. I had a heck of a season, way beyond my expectations. Coming into it with this car and the mixture of road courses, definitely out of my normal element. So, pretty ecstatic about that, and happy to have the season done.
Oh, absolutely, man. And when it comes down to it, when you look back, how did you make it this far? Basically, what contributed to your success the most?
I think it was really the tale of 2 seasons. You know, the first half of the season, I was able to get on the road courses up to speed enough to generally be top 2, top 3, and could take advantage of any issues or mistakes that other people were making, and keep my car clean and straight and pointing forward. And on the ovals, where the draft really plays its hand and kind of keeps everybody bunched up, just able to exploit my advantages with pit stops to kind of break free and get out in front. And for those 2 things, I was able to get, I think, the first 9 races I won, and that just got me enough of a points lead where, you know, the second half of the season it was more about trying to explore the limits of the car and what it would do in specific conditions, and just kind of let it hang out there a little bit, and I just hope maybe learn some stuff that I can use in this car and in any official sessions. I typically don't run this car. I generally stick with the stock cars. It's what I've pretty much run all the years that I've sim raced. It's 20 plus years. But I do run the Indy 500 every year, and so anytime you get some seat time in a car, it's helpful.
Oh, most definitely, man. Well, congrats on your success all season long, and we look forward to hearing how you were able to defend your throne and going back to that Corvette GT1. You know, mixing it up every single season. That is amazing, and it just keeps you guys on your toes. So once again, buddy, congrats on your success, and look forward to hearing from you again next season. Hopefully, go celebrate. Any final words?
Well, I just want to thanks to Jeff and everybody who organizes and runs the league, the Roarin Thunder Racing League, and you guys at Dre Broadcasting for putting this out for people to watch if they're interested. Maybe draw some interest in people who want to come out and race. I think no matter what your talent level is, your speed, you'll have a good time. You'll find some good competition, and then finally just kind of iRacing in general, just for this platform that they've created and promoted that lets us kind of virtually race. And if we're really, if you're a competitive person and you like motorsports, then iRacing is a really good place to be.
Well, brother, congrats on your success all season long, and we look forward to this carrying over to next season, the GT1 class. Well, you earned this success. Well, go celebrate.
Oh, thank you.
That was our new champion, 75 of Robert Barras. Ladies and gentlemen, he has won 11 of the 16 races this season. Very, very impressive. And he didn't have to show up tonight, but he did, and placed in the third place spot in the podium. Very impressive once again. So Bummer's back, Jeremy Horn, Robert Barras, Simon Thorns, Charles Smith, Stephen Leffler, Mark Kochik, Ronald Vincent, and Mark McFadden, first through 9th place respectively, rounding up the whole entire field for the final race of the season, the championship race, with Robert Barras once again is the new champion of the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series, brought to you by the Roaring Thunder Racing League. And check them out at Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing or their website, AmericanTrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. Well, Dave, any final words?
It's been a great season. A lot of great drivers. Good league.
Absolutely, and ladies and gentlemen, you want to be a part of the action? Yes, you do. So check out their website, AmericanTrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL, or just go to iRacing under the Leagues Sessions tab, Leagues directory, and search for Roaring Thunder Racing League, and you will find them because they run a lot of different series throughout the week. So Tuesday night, Pro Mazda series, and now upcoming Saturday night, the Corvette GT1 series, and that series is going to launch on March 10th. Yes, March 10th, 2018, at Daytona International Speedway for 80 laps, entitled the Roaring Thunder Racing League Corvette Daytona 200. So they'll go Daytona, Iowa, Homestead, Miami, and that's going to be the road course at Homestead, Rockingham Speedway, Off Week, Michigan, Daytona International Road Course, and then the Lucas Oil 150. So be sure to check them out at Roaring Thunder Racing League. I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly behind the cameras. We want to thank Jeff Dotson here with the Roaring Thunder Racing League for having the Dre Broadcasting on board. It has been a heck of a ride, a heck of a battle, and watching all these drivers grow. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. They've helped the Dre Broadcasting grow as well. Same with all the other leagues that we broadcast. So to the Roaring Thunder Racing League from the Dre Broadcasting Network, thank you very much. And to the viewers out there for watching the Roaring Thunder Racing League week in and week out, thank you very much as well. I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly behind the cameras, also being my right-hand man here tonight. And the next race we have broadcast is tomorrow night, the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series Chase Race number 1 of 4. And signing out for the final time with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Have a good night.